What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to talk to men in a group when you are either trying to approach a group of men and women together, or you are out with a group of men and women, or some women who you're trying to talk to, they are with male friends. So this is something that I think is very important and is not it is addressed to some extent, but I think it deserves a little bit more of a deep dive because there's very little that can kind of ruin your chances with a girl or any real like social interaction than a man who doesn't like you or doesn't want you around. It's very unlikely that like you're going to get anywhere with that group. If there's anybody in the group, man or woman, really, but if there's a man in the group specifically who doesn't like you, it's much harder. Women, you can always employ like a little bit of like flirting and some joking around, and because a lot of women will have kind of a bit shield up anyway. So you can joke them down, you can flirt with them a little bit and pay a little more attention to them, and they'll like you a little bit more. With men, it's a little bit more difficult because men, when we talk to each other, even a man that you don't know, there's always that initial little bit of, is this person a threat? Like, are we going to be friends after this conversation? Like, do I need to worry about this guy? You always kind of feel a tiny little bit of tension like that when it's two men talking, even if it's just in the beginning. It's quickly overcome in the first couple of minutes of conversation, but it is something that always needs to be addressed, especially when you're doing things like cold approach pickup or social circle game or something like that, or even in business situations, right? When you're talking to groups, it's very important that you have everybody on the group on your side, 99.9% of the time. Okay, so when you are talking to a group of people and there are men there, it's much more likely that the women will kind of react favorably to you and the men will kind of just sit there quietly and not say anything and kind of eye you up and down and make a judgment about you. Most of the time, this is because you're not actually addressing the men. Maybe you're talking to the women first, maybe you make a comment to the woman. But, there's a million different ways that you can do this. But in my opinion, it's always necessary, I would say, to engage everybody in the group, or at least if it's not like logistically possible to engage everybody in the group immediately, to kind of have a plan to engage them as soon as possible. You want to kind of, in the restaurant world, they'll call this touching tables, right? Where the manager of the restaurant, whoever's in charge of the restaurant that night, will kind of go around and literally put his hand on the table and check with the customers to make sure everything is okay. They call it touching tables. So that's kind of what you want to do when you're out and you're talking to people or in some sort of like business negotiations. You want to touch the table with every single person involved. Now, dealing with men in a group is much easier than you think it is, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, there is always going to be that little bit of tension in the beginning. That's not like the fun, like, sexual tension that you have between a man and a woman. It's more of the like dangerous, like scary, like, is this guy going to club me and like, kill me right now kind of thing. So the best way to kind of handle this, in my opinion, is to just be very enthusiastic about talking to this person, and compliment openers work very well. Just kind of get them on your side as fast as possible. I remember a certain situation when I was in Vegas a couple of weeks ago. I was out with this girl, and I saw this girl and guy who were very attractive. They were like the two most attractive people in the club, right? Other than me and my girl, of course. So the girl that I was with, she was very attractive, very, very voluptuous, and wearing a very low cut dress. And this man, this guy and this girl who we saw like walk by us a couple times, the girl she looked like a cartoon. She had like gigantic fake, breast implants. She had a shaved head. Her hair was blonde, was about this long. And the guy that she was with was this like, super jacked, like buff guy with like a hat and this like tight black shirt. So they were like the power couple of the club, right? And at one point, the girl that I was with and we went over to take a picture of the DJ who was playing that night. And the other couple, they kind of appeared next to us, right? And as we were, taking our pictures or whatever, the blonde, she started talking to me, right? She started like making conversation with me, and I'm thinking in my mind two things. I'm thinking, okay, this girl that I'm with is going to get a little jealous. That's okay. I'm okay with that. She should see me like talking to other girls. This is like going to help me. Obviously not in like a bad way or anything like that, but in general, it's good to see that the girls that you are with see that you are attracted to other women. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, uh-oh, like her boyfriend is here. He's probably not going to be, and I saw them holding hands and stuff. So I'm thinking like, okay, he's probably not going to be like super happy that like his girl is like flirting with me right in front of him like that, right? So she's talking to me a little bit, and we're like chatting for maybe 30 seconds or something. And then this girl starts to talk to my girl. She said something, and then they started talking. And instead of me standing there like an idiot, I'm not saying this other guy was an idiot, but he was just kind of standing there this whole time, not saying anything. I'm sure just waiting until, this passed and he could walk around the club with his girl or whatever. So he was kind of standing there. As soon as she, the blonde, started talking to my girl, I was like, okay, I can either stand here like an idiot and not say anything, or I can talk to this guy, right? So I went over, I talked to the guy immediately, or I guess my other option was to like be involved in their little conversation and kind of exclude the guy. But what I found to be a much better move was to befriend the guy. So I walked over, I like went around and like shook the guy's hand. I was like, what's up, man? I don't remember what I asked him. I was like, are you from Vegas? Do you live in Vegas? Like, what's your workout routine? Because he was jacked, right? So I just took an interest in him and started to kind of get to know him, and he was on my side kind of immediately. Now, that was kind of a unique situation because I was there with a girl. I wasn't out trying to like get new girls on that night. But the same applies if you are talking to a group of people. So in general, bottom line, I guess the point is this, is that when you're out, and you see a mixed group, talk to the guys. Don't be afraid. Don't look at the guys and think to yourself, man, it's a waste of time if I talk to them because they're just guys. If you get the guys on your side, then it's pretty much guaranteed that the girls will also kind of be on your side. And this is also, I've just thought of something else in my head when I would go to, if I was at a party, for example, and I'm at a party, I know literally maybe one person, the person I came with, and that person knows a bunch of people. They kind of wander off and talk to someone, and I'm just kind of stuck there in the party, holding my drink in my hand, doing nothing. What I would do is I would go and I would talk to different guys and just maybe make 1 minute of conversation with them. And what you'll end up finding is that many times people don't go to a party alone. They'll go with a group of people. Maybe there's guys and girls who are friends. They go to a party as a group. And when they, if you're talking to a guy and they came with a girl or a group of girls, it's likely that the girls that they came with will see you guys talking and they'll come over and talk to you as well. So it kind of gives you a little bit easier of a time to get introduced to people when you talk to guys at a party, instead of only like thinking like, oh, where are these girls that I can talk to? There's one, let me like go over and like try and talk to her and like say something to her. Okay, so bottom line, in summary, I know this video was kind of all over the place, but when you are out, whether at a party or a nightclub or in a business situation, don't only try and talk to the people who you think are the ones that you want to talk to, right? Talk to everyone, have a good time with everyone, and specifically with guys, you want to make sure that you are befriending them. You don't want to like challenge them or like be a dick to any of them. You always kind of want to get on their side if possible. Because you never know, guys are generally more connected than girls, they make more money than girls, and we're quicker to kind of like be bros with somebody as opposed to women who are always like a little catty and a little trying to see like what they can get out of something. Just my opinion, I could be wrong. But anyway, tell me, what do you think about that, about my opinion on how to engage with guys in a group conversation? Let me know. Was that clear? I want to know. Leave me a comment. Peace.